Hey, welcome back to PTSD While Black. I am working on the topic of traumas that I have experienced and learning to be at peace with them. I have a very difficult topic because in the last month or so, the subjects of self injury and suicide were brought up to me by multiple people. So it made me have to look at what was my history with self injury. As you can see, the scars on my arms, they're ancient from when I was a teenager into my early 20s. I was a self injurer. And I think when I was 15, I pretty much attempted suicide probably on a monthly basis, if not severe injury. Um, and so this is now that I'm dealing with my trauma, I am having to recognize that there were traumas that I had committed against myself that I need to make peace with. I'm going to be 36 this month. And so now I have this chance to kind of sit down with the 15-year-old, sit over here, the 15-year-old version of myself and forgive her for the hurts that she had and for the language that she chose to use towards herself. When I really look at it, I did the best that I could with the tools that I had at that time when I was trying to rely only on myself to resolve the issues and with the logic and experience of a 15-year-old child that had no form of expression or not knowing how to connect with other people. So I'm like, okay, so yes, that's what you chose to do, and I still love you. To be able to sit my 15-year-old self down and to be loving towards her, that's a very new concept. One thing that's coming to me is to detach or surrender um, the idea of being like holding on to shame of for behaviors that I've had in the past. Instead of holding on to shame and going, oh, you should have known better, you should have known more, instead to be able to say, okay, yeah, you did what you did with what you had, and you didn't know more. So I still love you. That is revolutionary as a form of thinking for me instead of continuing on to that pattern of self sabotage that is quite inherent in our society and in our culture of how we treat ourselves and how we view ourselves. So this doing this exercise has helped me with viewing other people um this week who've brought up that they don't feel that their lives have any value or any worth. It allowed me to kind of just give space to say, okay, I respect that's where you're seeing things from right now. And there's more to be revealed. It does not mean that you should act on it. It doesn't mean that you're going to be thought of as less than because this is the only solution that you came up with on your own. But you're still valued and fucking amazing. Just for being here and having the courage to say that this is what you're feeling, this is what you're thinking and dealing with. Um, and I really wish I had more people who were of that same mind frame or calmness within themselves when I was growing up as a teenager, to have validated that, yeah, you're doing the best you can with what you got. And there's more. There is more, and that's okay for you to be afraid, or it's okay for you to experience this moment right now. Um, Yeah, and so this gives me some pause because this last week PMS was real. Um it gives me some pause to forgive myself so that like I think of Quinn from who's going to be 60 years old looking back at Quinn who's 36 and being able to say, "Yep, you did the best you could with what you had." Okay. And to not have some kind of attachment of fear or shame over not knowing any better, but to look back at myself with love. It feels good, y'all. It feels really good. And it's kind of one of the techniques that I'm doing this week to help me feel okay with, yeah, you're gonna have bad days. You're going to have days where you don't feel well. Um, and you're doing the best you can with the spoons that you got. So it's all right. I still love you. Um, that's just wicked cool. Like as I'm saying this right now, I can feel from the concussion in this week the migraine is like, yeah, cuz I'm right here, and so I have a feeling that that's going to end up happening in a few days. Um but it's okay. It's okay. I'll do the best that I can with what I have. And if I am not the sweetest, kindest, most loving person in those days, okay. It's just that moment. It's just that moment. It does not mean that I'm going to spend my entire life being angry, upset, and vengeful. Nah, it's just that moment, and I can poof, let it go. So that's where I am with the thoughts of suicide and self injury as well. Is it's just that moment. The best gift that somebody gave to me when I think I was 19, yeah, 19, 20, when I was still cutting, um, she told me, she's like, if you want to cut yourself, okay, I still love you, but I ask you to just stop and think about what you're needing in that moment. What is it that you're really wanting to say? And I want you to write that out. And if you still feel like harming yourself afterwards, that's up to you, but at least give yourself a fighting chance. Show up in love for yourself in that moment. And that was the one of the best things that someone did for me, because it gave me the right to use my own tools to stop the self-harm that I was doing at that age. So I kind of think of that situation now and I go, okay, what if I can do that with, if you're going to yell at your husband today, think about all the loving and wonderful things that you want to say about him. Whatever, you think you're going to have a bad day with someone and dealing with someone, think about all of the loving and wonderful things that are around this. What are you needing and what are you lacking from all those loving things? And then if you still feel like yelling at them, act on it, whatever the fuck. So that's what I'm going to just go with for right now. Okay. Till next time. Peace.